Adut Akech is being honest about her pregnancy. Adut Akech had a dream that her sister was pregnant just before she realized she was 2. Akech awoke in the middle of the night, his dream so vivid. In a sleepless daze, she called her hurriedly to check whether it was true. She was reassured by her sister that it wasn't what she was expecting. However, in Akech's view, it is only the first of many. The next day, she developed an odd taste for oranges and began peeling them all the time at home before putting them in bags to throw in her purse. She discovered the next day that she was more worn out than she had ever been. Yes, she had just flown back to Adelaide, Australia, after attending the Valentino show in Paris and posing for multiple photo shoots. But that was her routine, always, as a top model, and then the reckoning day for pregnancy arrived. She remembers, "I started feeling like I was going to throw up when driving back home after picking up my car from the service center, with my bag of oranges." Akech suddenly realized that she might be the one who needed to pick up a test at CVS, not her sister. After she took 5, they were all in agreement, she was unquestionably pregnant. At 24, Akech is 3 years younger than the average age of first-time mothers in the United States. "I adore the idea of growing up with your kids, therefore I always stated I wanted to be a young mother," she explains. She and her own mother, who had Akech when she was 20 years old, have a similar bond. "Our closeness is greatly influenced by our age difference," she explains. The model also has a strong affection for children. At least 4 is what she desires. 5 is ideal. If any of them ended up twinning, she would also be okay with 6. "How is the voyage with the top going?" Breathlessly, she responds, "I'm good. I'm thrilled. I'm eager. I mean, could they please just arrive already? I'm only halfway through, and I'm kind of over it." She continues, describing her pregnancy as a beautiful feeling, but a mental and physical roller coaster. "You are never truly prepared for it by anything. Reading about weight increase related to pregnancy, for instance, is one thing. It is quite another to truly put on the desired amount of weight. Why does my vagina feel like it has a brick resting on top of it? I apologize so much for the profanity I used," she laughs. Or when the tiredness is accompanied by an astoundingly severe bout of sleeplessness at the same time. Or when an ordinary orange yearning turns into an odd eating behavior. Akech doesn't feel hungry at all on certain days. However, other days? "I want everything. I'll make my mom make 3 traditional meals, and I'll also get KFC." Akech is reflecting a great deal on her upbringing in addition to her cravings. Originating in South Sudan, she and her mother had to leave the nation when she was a baby because of a civil war. Akech resided at a camp for refugees in Kenya for 8 years. She is aware that her child won't travel the same path, and she naturally wants them not to. She does, however, want them to share the virtues that such a challenging journey taught her. She states, "You don't really value the material stuff when you don't come from much. I could have easily become overly obsessed with the life I lead now. However, I believe I've always had the thought, 'Remember where you came from,' in the back of my mind," she says. "I'm content as long as I can provide for my family and take care of myself. All I want to do is impart value to my children. And what's not," she continues, halting. "Just to be a decent, kind person. First and foremost, her children will work." Granted, their mother is a supermodel with international renown who has modeled for Karl Lagerfeld and Pier Paolo Pacioli, appeared on the cover of Vogue, and even starred in a Beyoncé music video. But that is irrelevant to Akech. "My mother had nothing at all. She declares, I'm going to make sure that my kid buys their own first car because I bought mine." Later on in the evening, Akech, her partner Samuel Elkier, and a few close friends are hosting a gender reveal party. In addition to being thrilled to learn whether she is expecting a boy or a girl, she is also happy that, after months of, well, not, she is finally dressed cutely. "I had 3 pairs of sweatpants that I always wore. Aloe was one of them. Lululemon was one of them. Victoria's Secret may have been the other one." The model, who wore a handmade Nancy Dojaka corset to the 2022 Fashion Awards and a skin-tight lace Laquan Smith catsuit to the 2024 Met Gala, although little over a month pregnant, may seem to be making a dramatic fashion change. But I stay home alone in Adelaide. With a laugh, Akech says. I visit my OBGYN, then I return home. I leave for my pregnancy Pilates class and return home. I return home after picking up my siblings from school. That is how I live. No place to get dressed up. There are roughly 10 weeks left in the model's pregnancy. She is struck by how far she has come as well as how far she still needs to go. I'm simply circling around asking myself, what the fuck is this? She exaggerates her movements for humorous effect, asking, what is this? But when she's composed herself, she gives me a direct gaze. She remarks, women, were built differently, honestly. I don't believe that men could ever.